I am here with Liz Hill. Liz, welcome to the podcast.
So happy to be here. It's such an honor.
It's great to have you back.
I know this is my third time. I feel extremely privileged to be a three-peater on your podcast.
Yeah, I don't know if I've had a lot of three-peaters, so yes, you are one of them.
I will wear that hat proudly.
So, freelance work.
Yep.
Because you as a vocalist, you've been through all different parts of the industry and had a record deal. And round, 6-7 years ago, you discovered freelance work, and it's changed your life.
100%. Yeah, it's crazy because I feel like I grew up with this idea, I'm going to be in the entertainment industry. And when you're a kid, you go, okay, that means I need to live in a major metropolitan entertainment city. I need to do all of this hustling and find these gatekeepers and somehow convince them to love me and show them I'm amazing. And I have to do all this work for free. I can't even tell you the nights I spent in the studio recording session vocals that I look back and I should have gotten paid for, but I didn't because someone promised me if I did this work, they'd introduce me to this producer who would listen to my demos. I mean, it's such a grind. And granted, I wouldn't trade those many sessions of getting my foot wet and cutting my teeth. There were lessons in all of it. But what I didn't realize is that there's a huge industry outside of just those major entertainment cities, and especially the way that technology has evolved. If you shift into digital freelancing, you can literally work with clients providing, I specifically do voiceover and session singing and songwriting and jingles, but any industry, you can basically access clientele all over the globe using technology to digitally freelance, and it's been a game changer.
And this can be a real source of income for singers, and particularly voiceovers, because I think singers have already spent time working on their voices. What advantages do you think singers have coming into this that other people may not?
I'm really glad you asked because, full disclosure, I have spent extensive time training with John over the years and really learned a lot about my voice. I learned a ton about vocal technique, and one of the best things that you taught me, I'm just going to shamelessly plug you, is how to work with my own voice, and when I was having issues, how to fix them, how to really make my voice malleable to the situation and the circumstance. And so while I had a ton of experience session singing, when I started to dive into voiceover work, which is now probably about 90% of my income is on the voiceover side, not the session singing side, I had these tools in my toolbox to make my voice so different, or to be able to manipulate these subtle shades of tone and convey meaning through, like we would through a song. All of the skills, I would say they're so translatable between singing a song and conveying a piece with emotion, connecting with your audience. If you're really tuned in as a singer, voiceover work tends to be, not for everybody, but for most people, tends to come really naturally. And so what's crazy is that I actually, I'm really scared to admit this, but I actually didn't take a single professional voiceover lesson until I was doing it full time for about 4.5 years and thought maybe I should take a lesson. And I sought out a very professional and very highly regarded coach in the industry, to which he said, well, shoot, guess you figured it out on your own because I don't know what to tell you. He gave me a couple pointers as we were going through read-throughs, but he said, your instincts are great. And I really, truly attribute that to spending time and investing in my voice as a singer, because the skills are so translatable between the two skill sets.
Yeah, because you're taking words and you have to emotionally connect. And that's what it is with voiceovers. It really is. You're trying to get someone in an emotional state so that they will decide to make a purchase, or at the very least engage their attention, because people tend to drift out. And so you're able to figure out how to do that very quickly. And you're also able to figure out how to work with clients and what they're going to want.
100%. And truthfully, you hit the nail on the head. All of those hours that I spent, days, weeks, months that I spent in the studio getting told, nope, sing it like this, nope, do it like that. While I look back and think like, dang, should have gotten paid for those sessions. I got to hit somebody up because there's some royalties somewhere for me. But all of that coaching lends itself to, I am under an NDA, so I can't give all the details, but I just recorded a character for a theme park inside of a ride. And it used to make me so nervous doing directed sessions because, what if I don't do it how they want it to? But when you've cut your teeth enough, again, the skills are really, really applicable to each other. I spent so much time in the studio with someone like, nope, do it again like this. Nope, like that. Nope, like this. Singing, it's just the same. You're just emoting with words. And quite frankly, I think singing is way harder than voiceover because you're emoting with the words and you better make sure the pitch and the tone are right. You don't have to worry. I mean, voiceover, obviously, your pitch does matter and certain pieces need you to be more higher pitch, more energy. Certain pieces need you to be lower pitch or however. But I think singing's way harder than voiceover. Regardless, just having the ease of getting used to being directed, getting used to being coached, make sessions with clients like that feel fun and easy. I mean, not every client makes it easy, but these particular clients did, and that project was so fun. I'm very excited for it to come out.
It's funny you mentioned amusement parks, theme parks, because my brother's a screenwriter.
Oh, cool.
And he has fallen into writing the scripts for theme park rides.
What? I see. And you don't even think that there's somebody out there who does that?
Yeah.
It's so wild because there are so many like niche entertainment jobs that you fall into and you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I was meant to do all along. I love this. But you wouldn't know until you kind of explored different avenues and saw what was the right fit, or even discovered that thing was out there. For me, I specialize a lot in corporate voiceover. I wouldn't have thought of that, but in the digital age, companies, especially now so more than ever, video is what converts online. You think about Instagram has shifted towards video. TikTok is obviously so popular. YouTube's so popular. All these, even Facebook is promoting videos now. All this medium is shifting towards video. And for a lot of companies, huge companies, they might have a creative department in-house, but a lot of them don't. And they're outsourcing work. They need marketing materials, but they're outsourcing work to voiceover artists. And obviously the age of AI, a lot of people are really scared that it's coming for you. People are motivated to purchase things when they feel that they can relate and trust what they're being sold. And there's, in my opinion, obviously, I'm sure AI has its place, but I feel like companies that care about what they're providing, they want a real human voice to be the voice of their product, the voice of their brand. They want you to be relatable and so they can connect with their audience. And again, having the skills as a singer to know how to connect with your audience and relate translates so well over to voiceover.
And it's funny that when you say that they don't have in-house.
Yeah.
My wife, Tracy, she worked at a major radio station, and they had their own in-house commercial production department. But she went down one time and just read the copy for one of her clients, and they realized, whoa, she has a good voice and she can make it fit within 30 seconds, 45 seconds. She just kind of had that feel for timing, which musicians have.
I forgot to mention that.
And when they discovered that, she was doing tons of voiceovers.
Yeah.
They just pull her down all the time. There is work out there. I want to ask you, though, because in the freelance world, you're not going to start at the level that you're on right now. You're not going to be with the corporate clients. You're not going to be doing the voice for theme park characters. What can people expect in the very beginning? And what are some of the challenges that they should be aware of?
That is such a good question. So First of all, when I got started, I was charging 1/10 of what I charge now. But I listened back to some of my very early voiceover work and I think, oh my God, who would have wanted me to do their project? But it's one of those things, just like when you first started singing, you probably had notes you couldn't hit. You probably had lots of areas that you were not as confident in as you grow to be the more you're practiced. And what's really cool about freelancing is there's a client out there who wants to spend $10 and there's a client out there who wants to spend $1,000. And what's really cool is that when you're starting maybe in an area that you're not super comfortable with, or maybe you're like, I know I have a good voice. I know I could do voiceover work. I know I could do session singing. I know I could do jingles, but I'm still really new at this. There's a client who is willing to pay their budget, whatever they have set aside, to get something. And what's really cool is as you get more practiced, you, as a freelancer, you get to control what your pricing is. So you can raise your rates when you feel like you're providing a better service. And that way you kind of upskill yourself. And now you're meeting with clients who maybe have a bigger budget. And you can always kind of adjust your way up. It's really cool because I feel like a lot of times people get so intimidated to start because they're not perfect. I know I'm a perfectionist, and I think a lot of people can relate to wanting to just be super awesome because nobody wants to be embarrassed or feel cringy that like their work isn't outstanding. But the scope of work out there is so massive that it's actually kind of a low barrier to entry to get started. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, and I think people should realize you can make a living doing this. I mean, if you want to do it on the side and make a few extra dollars, but if you apply yourself, especially in the beginning, it's not going to be a lot, but I think you can share, there is money to be made.
Absolutely. So like you said, John, I had a record deal for a few years and then amicably split with my label. I went back to like a corporate job, which that was just my exit strategy was I'm going to work this job 1 year, save up what I need to save, and then get the heck out of here and figure out how to do something else, how to do songwriting, how to do other things in the industry. And what was so wild was I landed in Nashville. I was able to save up just enough to have a tiny down payment for an itty bitty tiny house. And I landed there and realized, oh my gosh, I don't have a stable job and I have a mortgage. How am I going to make this work? And that's when I decided to dive into digital freelancing. So I could still do songwriting and still go to sessions in town, but I needed something supplementing it. And when I looked back at my earnings from my first full year of digital freelancing, I matched my income at my corporate job the year prior. And obviously, like you said, you don't start out the first month. I looked back and I think I made like a couple $100 and I was so excited. I thought that was amazing. But what's really cool is when you're a digital freelancer, you have access to clients all over the world. You can kind of build your own little body of clientele that likes to work with you and they'll grow with you. And to date, very few people have actually complained. I have some clients that have stuck with me over the 5 years, over the 10xing of what I charge, and they understand. Oh, okay, you're getting better. I'm willing to pay more. And I have other clients who've been like, hey, I can't afford you anymore. But that's actually opening the door of opportunity to someone who's coming up behind you. When you level up and maybe outgrow a client, somebody else behind you is now getting a new opportunity to get that work. It's actually really cool when you think about it.
And then a thing that I personally find exciting, and I'm so happy you're doing this, is you're taking the plunge into the other digital world of creating courses and training content to help people get into this business. So tell us a bit about that.
You actually inspired me greatly to do so. So full disclosure, I don't like being on camera, which is one of the things that I love about voiceover work is I get to be my zany, goofy self, but I don't have to worry about actually being on the screen. That being said, I had an incredible past 3 years. I was able to with my income from just being a digital freelancer, purchase a horse farm. We now personally own 5 horses. I compete and travel all around the region. And I'm able to have a band that I love and I'm actually really enjoying. So I moved to Nashville to be a songwriter. But I personally realized that I enjoyed this freelancing stuff so much and I just wanted to have my damn band. I just wanted to rock out with my friends. So I have the income to have this great lifestyle, to afford to go record with my band in a professional studio, which is not cheap if you're an independent artist. And basically have this lifestyle. We're building a dream lifestyle and actually about to add 50 more acres to our farm. I can't even believe I'm saying that out loud. It is crazy. We're currently in escrow on that. And when it dawned on me that I've been given so many opportunities because I plugged my nose and took the plunge into digital freelancing, and that I have so many talented friends and friends of friends and acquaintances and people out there who I may never meet, but have the same skills, but just don't know how to get started. It felt selfish that I didn't try to share some of this knowledge. I'm 20,000 actually over 20,000 freelancing projects in at this point. And I realized there's people out there who this could change their life. And if I don't share it, I'm being selfish. So for that, I got on camera and I started filming a whole bunch of course series. And I actually have released my first set of mini courses, which are kind of a bundle. They're designed to go together. Basically, how to find your freelancing talent and get started as a freelancer. I personally work a lot on the website Fiverr. I've found a great amount of success on it. And I know especially, getting started, it's just an easy place to dip your toe in the water. So I have a mini course telling you how to get your profile started, which is actually a lot harder than it sounds. There's a lot of things that you need to get started, and I walk you through that step by step and make it not scary. And then in that third, in the bundle, there's a third mini course that's basically freelancing 101, like mindset. Because if you're used to working for somebody else, it can be kind of jarring to start to work for yourself. And there's a lot of mental stuff that changes when you realize you're accountable to just yourself. So those 3 are great. And then I've got some masterclasses specifically on voiceover, on session singing, how to do those as a digital freelancer, and then a comprehensive course on deep diving into Fiverr. And there's also some bonuses and extras in there. So there's a lot for people to go through and find, and I'm really excited to share it.
And where can people find that?
So they can go to freelancebff.com, just freelancebff.com. And you can find all the courses there and all sorts of materials. You can also go to Instagram at freelancebff, and there's lots of resources for you there.
Yeah, because you're also putting out great information on Instagram, also TikTok.
Yes.
And you're very sharing with your knowledge, which I really, really appreciate.
I try to. Also, if you just want to see silly horses on the farm and me doing dumb stuff with my farm neighbors, TikTok, you can find me at Voiceovers and Ponies. It's a good time if you like animals.
Well, Liz, thank you so much for joining us today.
I appreciate you, John. I'm always a fan forever and ever. Thank you for helping be part of the reason why I can do my job.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.